Hey, I'm Jeff and welcome back to another video. This is the original plank with my rooting window design. I'm just gonna bring this up here, but this was a solution to when the plant reaches the top. You can grow roots in this little prop box, and then once it comes time to do a chop and prop, it's very similar to how you would do it with a moss pole. But I quickly realized you need a root system before you do a chop and prop when it's growing on a plank. Otherwise, it just takes months and months before you see any new growth because the plant will be working on a root system once you put it in a new pot. About half an hour ago, I already made the cut, so this is completely separated. I just wanted it to callus over. But the idea is the plant grows up the plank, it grows into this rooting window, which is sphagnum moss. It grows a root system, and then as the plant continues to grow up the wood plank, getting these beautiful aerial roots, and once it reaches the top or close to the top, you can make a cut, remove the moss, and then you can place it in its own new pot so that it can continue with the vertical growth process. The plant is too tall to keep on the table, so I just put it on a little stool down there so I can talk about the leaves. I'm not even sure how old this plant is. If I were to guess, probably about 2 years. And for the longest time, it's been doing great. It's been getting larger leaves up until recently. You can see the leaves have started to get smaller. And as you can see, got a nice size leaf here, and then one that is probably about half the size. Now there's really only one reason for this, and I'm looking at the roots. Here's my sketchy setup behind the workshop table here. But essentially the plant has become too large for the root system that it currently has. So it has roots in the pot as well as in the little prop box here. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to remove the top plank. We'll put it in a pot, probably this pot, and we'll continue that growth process, and hopefully we can get larger leaves again. This is the prototype, and it's simply just a chopped up milk jug stapled to the side of the plank and topped up with some sphagnum moss. So I'm going to take this off in a second here, but I want to show you version 2 of my prop box. So this is a 3D printed prop box, so very similar to this. So this will go on top of this current plank. And then as the plant grows up, it's going to grow into this little rooting window, and there's going to be a prop box at the back. So we'll see how it does with this one. I might have to go a little bit larger because this one is a little bit bigger than the prop box, but this is the next generation, I guess you can call it. I wanted it to look a little bit better than just a junky milk jug. So I'm going to start by removing the little prop box here. So I'm just going to pull away at these staples. I'm really curious to see what the roots look like on this cutting here. And it should just pull. Oh yeah, look at that. Holy, oh my goodness. Look at those roots. Like, where did the moss go? Okay, this is absolutely crazy. I don't think I've ever seen roots like this. So that explains why the leaves are not sizing up. How am I going to get the moss out? What I should have done is used an aeroid mix. I think that's what I'll do for the next propagation, is instead of using sphagnum moss, which is really effective at growing roots, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get all of that moss out. So the next thing is to just remove these screws, and then I can just take the top piece with the entire root system off of the bottom plank and separate it from the pot. I definitely should have repotted this a bit sooner because those roots, crazy. Now I'm just going to rotate this around, and then it should just pop right off. Okay, let's take this out and see if it pops right off. Oops, hit the roof. But there you go, separated. Oh my goodness, I can't get over these roots. Like, look at this. That is actually insane. So I'll have to figure a couple things out here. Now, two things I'm curious about. One, again, the roots, if it's root bound. And the second, oh yeah, this thing is, oh, it's packed. This thing is packed. The second thing, I want to see if the plank has rotted or not. Oh, I can't even get this out. I can just feel crunching roots. So all I do is go around the pot, and then I push forward. Sometimes these roots like to latch onto terracotta. Okay, well, the plank came out. It's definitely it rotted. I know I get a lot of questions about if my planks rot. I've honestly only had one plank rot like this in the past. Like I said, this has probably been in the pot for about 2 years. This is probably the worst type of wood that you can use. It's pine. If you want something more rot resistant, cedar is a better choice. There are ways that you can protect the bottom of the plank as well. You can char the end of it, so kind of light it on fire. Someone else said like candle wax or paraffin wax or something like that. That might be able to help with rot as well. There's many different things. You can try Flex Seal and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to reuse this pot, but we'll see if we can poke it through the bottom. Holy cow, I don't think I've ever had a plant not come out of the pot. There we go. Oh, look at these roots. That is solid. Okay, so again, I probably should have repotted this a long time ago, put it in a larger pot, but this is crazy. Now I'm probably going to get a question asking what I'm doing with the stump. You can repot this into a larger pot, and it should sprout new growth points from these nodes, probably somewhere up here. You might get 1 or 2 growths from the top. I'm not going to keep this. I don't have enough room. I really want to. I'm undecided, but what I'm going to do is cut it back just so it's a little bit shorter. 2 reasons. I want these nodes to be activated if I do decide to keep it, and the second reason is I actually want this for the thumbnail. So I'm going to cut this right up here, something like that. And then if I decide to keep it, it should get a new growth point at least here, if not lower as well. But this is absolutely crazy. And as for the bottom piece, with the exception of the metal parts and the tape, which I'll remove, this is going straight in the compost. I found another plank in my laundry room. I stuffed it in the holes that were in the root ball, and I'm going to find a larger pot for this one. So now let's get to the other plant. Now for this one, when I originally put it in the pot, I put it on the plank, I planted it, all that kind of stuff, I quickly realized there was going to be a problem once it came time to do a chop and prop. Now what I like to normally do is place the plank at the bottom of the pot. That way I can add soil around the plank, and then it just helps with stability. But as you can see, the entire root ball is pretty much below the bottom of the plank, so I cannot have the plank sitting on the bottom of the pot and then keeping the entire root system. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is maybe chop half of the roots off, place it in a pot. I might have to stabilize it a little bit better. I'll have to come up with a solution for that. But once it reaches the top of this and I use my new plank system, it completely eliminates this kind of larger gap. So that's what I'm dealing with. So even though I made all this progress establishing this root system, I'm going to have to chop some of it up, I guess. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe go from this node below, yeah, and then I'll come up with some sort of stabilizer for this. So I don't want to cut too much off, maybe like a third. I'm going to start there, and then I'll have to go find a pot. So just like cutting a cake, nice sponge cake. Okay, I'm going to start here. And actually this will be a good time to remove some of the moss. I might actually just kind of leave it in place. I don't want to pull all these little fine secondary roots. So it's going to be in enough shock as it is. Ooh, look at that. Cool. So yeah, I'm going to go find now 2 pots and come up with a stabilizing solution for this one. Okay, this one's going to be easy. I just found a pot from outside, and I just covered it with this mesh tape just to cover the drain holes. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of soil on the bottom, and then I'll plop this one in. I wasn't really planning for a pot this size, so I'll have to dig out some. I got some bulk soil. I'm just using the VeryPlants. It comes in like a big bulk bag here, but I'm running low on this one, so I'm just going to put a little bit of a base layer here first, and then we'll see see how much I need. Maybe close to the back, and I'm gonna angle it slightly backwards like I normally do. And here's my second big bag that I have. This is the VeryPlants Air Red Mix. I do have a discount code in the description of this video, and you can buy these big giant bags. If you have larger projects or if you have large plants and many of them need to be repotted, this is a good purchase. I found a pot for the top cutting there. Now, I did have to MacGyver something just so it wouldn't topple over. So this is one of those prop boxes that's actually supposed to go on the back. I'm going to use this as a front stabilizer. So I'm going to put a little bit of soil just underneath it, and that should keep it relatively stable. I'm hoping, as opposed to just relying on a thin piece of stick. So it should provide some balance. So I'm going to have to kind of tilt it backwards a little bit, and then I can fill up this. But first I'm going to have to cut off this leaf right here, like that. Now I can put some soil in the bottom of the pot. There is a little bit of a height difference between the bottom of the root system and this pot here. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of a base layer down. So I'm hoping that this is kind of a makeshift solution to the stability problem. Okay, can't even tell that there's a piece of plastic in there. So it is pretty stable. I'm really happy with it actually. So that definitely provided some support, extra support, than just the simple plank in the pot there. So now when it grows up to the top piece here, I've already pre-drilled some holes in there. So it should just accept the connection piece with the prop box, and then we can continue that process. So I don't know what I'm gonna be doing with the other one. This one down here, I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I literally don't have room for it. This larger pot is going to push some of these plants over, so I literally don't have space for it. And if I come over here, then I do have another marble queen pothos right there. So it's not like I need 3, and I literally don't have space. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with it yet, but if you don't see it in any future videos, then that's why. I'm going to take this one over to the shower here, give it a good thorough soaking, and then I'm going to place it back in its spot underneath the grow lights here. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching all my videos and supporting my channel. Take care, everyone.